Hello, you was just watching me playing some PlayStation 1 games. Well, the Sony PlayStation was Sony's 32-bit game system that went against Sega's Saturn and Nintendo's N64. There's quite an interesting story behind the Sony PlayStation. Nintendo were actually kind of the reason why Sony got into making games, and they kind of made their own rival. The story goes that Nintendo were interested in CDs for games back in the NES and SNES days. They wanted an add-on, a bit like that Sega did with the Mega CD. So Nintendo got the help of Sony, and Sony just started to work on this add-on for the SNES. But unfortunately, Nintendo and Sony fell out. Sony realised they could take the technology they had developed and turn it into a standalone console. Nintendo tried to take them to court, but they didn't win, and well, the rest is history. The PlayStation 1 is one of the best-selling consoles ever made. It came out in about 1994 and 1995, stopped being made in 2006, so it went for about 11 or 12 years. It has some very well-known games like Tomb Raider and Resident Evil. And in fact, over 7,000 games have been made for it. PlayStation 2 can play PlayStation 1 games. Some of the PlayStation 3s can, out of the box, so to speak. And you can even play PlayStation 1 games on the PSP, the PlayStation Portable, through download. Well, let's look at some PlayStation stuff, shall we, as that's what this is about. We have here Silent Hill for the PlayStation 1, an absolute classic, in some ways better than Resident Evil, but own unique game. Dino Crisis 2, for those who don't know, Dino Crisis was Capcom's sort of Resident Evil meet dinosaurs, but really good in its own way. Tomb Raider 3, obviously the other Tomb Raiders were also on PlayStation, and of course the one that started it all, Resident Evil. So that's the games. Let's look at the console itself, the game system. There were basically two main versions of the PlayStation that was made. There was the original shoebox version. Sony, yes, don't forget it, Sony. PlayStation logo. Two control ports at the front, two memory card slots labelled 1 and 2. You can't go wrong with that. We have open, power and reset, really big buttons. At the back, you're spoilt for choice, you really are. You have, well, the main socket, 2-pin in this country. I don't know if it was in the other countries. Have the sort of standard PlayStation AV port that contains everything. Then we have the composite and stereo audio, plus a serial port. The serial port was for connecting PlayStations together and also could be used for debugging. Apparently Sony did release debugging versions of PlayStation. They're going for like £500 on eBay. That's a lot of money in dollars, whatever that is. Yes. And also this strange thing here, a parallel port. Bit wrongly named. It was a bit more than a parallel port, more than what you would find on some computers. The parallel port wasn't really used by Sony. They stuck on a add-on, a connector, and they didn't even use it. Yeah, probably Japan only. However, it was used by Action Replay and Passport. There we go. They plugged into the back of the PlayStation. Obviously not both of them at the same time, I just happened to have two. And look on the back, parallel ports to be connected to a PC. Unfortunately, I think you needed an expansion card to use them. I'm not sure. Similar to the N64 cheat devices, it was possible to connect to the computer. Sony later made a slimline PlayStation called the PS1 that has integrated on-off switch and reset and the ejection. Same controllers and memory card ports, but slight differences at the back. Just two connectors, power, which is now an adapter rather than a main socket, and a single AV port. The serial port has been removed and the parallel port was removed so that people could no longer cheat. They did do Action Replay or something like that on CD, but wasn't so good. So there we are, the Sony PlayStation 1. Thanks for watching. That's bye for now. Bye.